You are born in the world in 69 BCE in Alexandria. The warm, sticky air of Nile surrounds you as palace servants rush around. From the moment you take your first breath, life is complicated. You are not just a baby, you're Cleopatra the 7th, the last ruler of your family line. Sounds fancy, right? Hell nah. This is ancient Egypt, where your life is about to become a roller coaster of betrayal, power struggles, and heartbreaks. What's it like to be born into a family where your siblings see you as a competition instead of family? Welcome to the Ptolemaic dynasty. Let's just say that family dinners are less about bonding and more about watching your back. This is why it sucks to be born as Cleopatra, one of the most famous figures in ancient history, yet also one of the unluckiest. At 4 years old, most kids are playing, but not you. You are learning the rules of being royal in ancient Egypt. You are taught how to act polite, even to people who might want to harm you. Your dad, King Ptolemy XII, spends his time trying to keep Egypt safe from Rome. His big idea? Borrowing a ton of money from Rome, leaving your family in debt. Some say he invented the live now, pay later lifestyle, but with interest rates that could crush an empire. Your siblings? They're not your friends, they're your future enemies. You learn quickly to be careful around them. In this family, everyone is out for themselves. You're already noticing that poison in wine isn't just something you read about in ancient history scrolls. Fun fact, ancient Egypt's rulers often married with their own family to keep the bloodline pure. The downside? It made royal drama even messier, with siblings constantly fighting for the throne. By 12, you've seen how messy things can get. Your dad loses his power and runs away to Rome. Your older sister, Bernice, takes the throne. She thinks she's won, but it doesn't last. Your dad comes back with Roman soldiers and takes control again. Bernice? She's executed. Family reunions must be awkward when off with her head is the family motto. You realize that if you want to survive, you have to be smart. Trust no one and always stay ahead. You're learning that in the Game of Thrones, you either win or, well, you know how it ends. Life in ancient Egypt might look glamorous in pictures, but weird history shows it's anything but. Did you know that Cleopatra was one of the few Ptolemaic rulers who actually learned to speak Egyptian? Most of her family stuck to Greek, further alienating themselves from the people they ruled. At 18, you're made queen, but you have to share the throne with your 10-year-old brother, Ptolemy XIII. And because it's tradition, you're expected to marry him. Gross, right? Let's just say ancient Egypt's take on romance wouldn't fly in a modern rom-com. But you don't have time to worry about that. Egypt is falling apart, Rome is watching, and your advisors are working against you. When you try to take control, your brother's supporters kick you out of Egypt. You're exiled. But Cleopatra doesn't give up. You are clever and determined. While others cry over spilled milk, you're busy planning how to reclaim the whole dairy. This is another reason why it sucks to be born as Cleopatra. Ancient Egypt's royalty might have had power, but they also faced endless challenges. Here comes Julius Caesar, the most powerful man in Rome. To get his help, you will pull off one of history's boldest stunts, smuggling yourself into his chambers rolled up in a carpet. It works. Caesar is impressed. Together, you fight to take back your throne. Your brother loses and you become the ruler of Egypt. For a while, life is good. You and Caesar even have a son, Caesarion, but trouble is brewing in Rome. Caesar is killed and you're left without your strongest ally. Now what? Suddenly, being queen feels more like being the star of a tragic play written by someone who really hates happy endings. Well, I don't think anybody hates happy ending, but anyways, if you know, you know. Weird history shows how quickly fortunes could change for even the most powerful figures in ancient history. After Caesar's death, you meet Mark Antony, another Roman leader. The two of you join forces, you fall in love, have 3 children, and build a strong partnership. You host amazing parties and strengthen Egypt's power. But not everyone is happy about it. Octavian, Caesar's adopted son, sees you as a threat, so he spreads lies about you and Antony, calling you a danger to Rome. A war breaks out. At the Battle of Actium, your ships lose. You and Antony return to Egypt with nothing left. Antony's once famous charm is now as useful as a broken chariot. Again, why it sucks to be born as Cleopatra becomes painfully clear. Ancient Egypt might have given you a crown, but it also handed you a life of endless battles, both literal and political. Did you know that Cleopatra's ships at the Battle of Actium were far larger than Octavian's, but they were too slow to match his fleet speed. Sometimes even size doesn't guarantee success. If you're watching this and you relate, keep your head up, king. Octavian's army is closing in. Anthony hears false news that you've died. Heartbroken, he takes his own life. When you find out, you are devastated. You know Octavian wants to take Rome as a trophy. You refuse to let that happen. Legend says you let a poisonous snake bite you. Whether it was a snake or something else, one thing is clear. You chose your own ending. If nothing else, you go out with dramatic flair, the kind that would make even Shakespeare jealous. With your death, Egypt loses its independence and becomes part of Roman Empire. The Ptolemaic dynasty ends with you. Your life was a wild ride, but hey, at least you made a history. Weird history, yes, but unforgettable. Cleopatra's life was full of struggle, danger, and heartbreak. But through it all, you stayed strong and clever. Even though life wasn't easy, your name became one of the most famous in history. Ancient Egypt may have been your home, but your story reached far beyond its borders. Your life is a reminder of why it sucks to be born as Cleopatra. The power, the pressure, and the constant fight to survive. Yet, despite everything, your legacy shines. Your story shows that even in tough times, you can leave a mark that lasts forever. So, the next time you think ancient history is just boring old facts, remember Cleopatra, the queen who turned ancient Egypt into an epic tale.